Cool. All right, Greg. Great to connect with you in this forum over Zoom. And so you're VP of Infrastructure, right? VP
Yep.
of your title. Okay, so maybe just spend a minute talking about what does that mean? What is your responsibility?
Sure. So there's a number of functions under my team. So first of all, I'll start at the foundation of the services. So number one is a global corporate network. So that's all the enterprise network that supports all of the buildings, locations, IBXs, and now all the connectivity to all of our remote employees, right? So the network, the help desk, so the front line supporting all of our employees, our server and storage backup team, so all that digital infrastructure, application admins, DBAs, as well as the ServiceNow platform that supports all of the IT organization and all of the processes and that we have in place for all teams, not just the infrastructure team, but including the apps teams. And I think that's it. That's the remit.
Okay, perfect. So then you're the perfect person to ask this question for, especially for those of you that aren't exactly familiar with interconnectivity, network interconnectivity. So maybe just, Greg, maybe just give us a 101 level perspective on interconnectivity, why it's important, and maybe just use an example of, before and after, before interconnectivity, and then after, why it's important. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of folks that I know that don't really think about when they're thinking about their infrastructure strategy. This isn't top of mind. So maybe if you could shed some light on that, that'd be great.
Sure, and I'll just talk through it rather than just in a general sense, just from my own experience and from my responsibilities and why it's become important to us. So I've been with Equinix almost 12 years now, right? So it's been a while, and I always, I'd like to think, and over the years would think, okay, I used to work at a company like many that had its own very nice, fancy data center. We had our own, right? And it was in Mountain View, this company. And I always think like, okay, doing my job, why would I move from that data center to Equinix? If I wasn't an employee here and had the benefit of having great colo space and now all these connected services, why would I move here? And I'll be honest, for the first several years, it wasn't crystal clear. There was definitely a very obvious reason from a network standpoint. And if you have a global footprint, to manage those network costs, get options within our data centers of whatever provider you could possibly want around the world, and to address just the network costs themselves, that was a very obvious reason to me why, if I had the same global footprint, would I come to Equinix. But beyond that, it wasn't as clear several years back. Now, as we started developing our strategy around moving to cloud, as it became more apparent to us that we wanted to get to cloud, we had a desire to get to cloud, and once you start peeling the layers back, we realized, well, I can't move everything to cloud. There's pieces that we couldn't move for specific reasons, yet there are definitely pieces we wanted to move, which then drove the need for some type of hybrid architecture where some pieces would be still on premise, if you will, and some would be in the cloud. And those different components need to be able to communicate with one another and have the reliability and throughput from a network speed standpoint and security from a private access, like not going over the internet standpoint, that I realized I wouldn't be able to deploy the architectures that we now have in place if I wasn't at Equinix, because it simply wouldn't work.
Yeah, well, just to echo your point that, I remember an anecdote from a data center executive, and told me that he cannot see life without deploying apps within platform Equinix, because of this very reason you gave of, you kind of just bring the world together now.
Yeah, that's right. And let's face it, like the whole world now, the past, especially since now, I feel like, and I think a lot of people would agree that even prior to the pandemic, the catchword was digital transformation, and people start, peeling that back. That's not just about a technology transformation. It's about transforming your business and business outcomes. And this was happening prior to COVID, but I think the last 10 months, companies are now accelerating that. They've realized through real business challenges how much they need to get to cloud and how much they really shouldn't be dependent on their lone data center, and they want to take advantage of a lot of services that have become clear we all need to survive in the future. And as businesses have been forced to pivot, you're either pivoting and finding new success in a post-COVID world, and there are some who, frankly, haven't been able to pivot very quick and are struggling or may not survive. So it's become, I think, quite clear that this whole need to modernize infrastructure and modernize applications is more important than ever, and I don't think we're going back, to your
Yeah.
point. I think
Yeah.
it's just continue, and that trend is accelerated and is going to keep going.